Time for a walk, but out in the wilderness today. Anyway, question for you today is, what boundaries do you have in place for yourself? So, what I mean by boundaries, what have you set expectations on around, whether it be time, finances, work, whatever it is? Think about them for a second. What are your boundaries? If you don't have any, then take a look at your life and see maybe why you might be in a situation. Maybe it's a relationship where you're getting abused, or you're at a job where your manager is running over you or your employees are running over you. That's because you don't have any boundaries with that particular thing. So if you don't have any boundaries with work, I'll give you an example. I had a new employee when I was working at the bank. She was a teller, and we had a manager who would just do some weird stuff, man. We were having a meeting one time, and she was just sitting in the teller chair with her legs kind of just regular. They were open. He was kind of like in between her legs doing the whole meeting. I'm like, we were all looking at each other like, that's weird. And then another time, she had her hand on the table, and then he just had his hand on top of her hand the whole time. Usually a person would be like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to touch you. No, he left it there the whole time, which is like, then again, after the meeting, we were all like, whoa, what's up with that? I had to put her to the side and be like, are you cool with him doing that? She was like, no, it makes me uncomfortable. I'm like, well, if it makes you uncomfortable, you should probably say something, because clearly he has no boundaries around what he's going to do at work or just period with another person, especially a woman. So she eventually had a conversation with him. So that's an example of a boundary that you could have at work, because that's just like, that could be, sexual misconduct at work. And it is kind of. So that's just an example. Or if you're in a relationship with somebody and they just always late, well, not even just, doesn't matter if it's a person or friend or whatever, and they're always late, they don't respect your time. So when you allow people to do certain things, and a person's only able to do what you allow them to do. Think about that. So when you have someone who just like not, really appreciating your time because they're not showing up on time, or if you go to the movies and they're like 2 hours late, or if you go to the gym and they're late, they're not respecting your time. So if you don't have any boundaries around your time, how could you expect someone else to respect that? Even if you're in a relationship, some people might be in a relationship and have a significant other who loves to spend money. They might want to buy certain things, but if you don't have financial boundaries, they can always come to you and ask you for money. So for me, anyone that knows me know I have a boundary around time, health, and finances. So if you come to me and ask me for some money, I don't have a problem with doing it. But what I am going to say is I can't do it until this deal closes. So I won't spend any money outside of when I have a deal that needs to close. So if I have a deal that needs to close, I'm going to be like, well, we got to wait until this deal closes. It could be a week or 2 weeks, but then I'll give it to you. Because I'm not going to go and sell some stocks, or I don't really keep a lot of liquid. And so what happens is someone might want to borrow money, but that'll limit someone's coming to me and asking me for money. You might have someone who always come to you and ask you for money, right? Because you have never either stopped and you always continue to give it to them, or you haven't done what I just said. So now a person might think twice about coming to ask me for anything, because they know I'm either going to say no or I'm going to say what I just said. So you got to do the same thing. If you don't have boundaries, sometimes you might be in an abusive relationship and stay longer than you should, because this person is going upside your head, but you have never said anything about not hitting you, or you don't have any boundaries around your physical space. And so they keep hitting you because you're not saying anything. You're allowing them to keep hitting you. So this is what I mean by having boundaries. What boundaries do you have? And if you don't have any boundaries, take a look at your life and see, is your life, if people in your life are just running over you and doing whatever they want. If that's the case, then you need to set boundaries, whether it be financially, space-wise. If you have some people might have, I have a friend who has a man cave, and then that's where he goes to spend his time for himself. And then his wife might come in there, or his kids might come in there, and they just come in there and sit down. And it's like, that's cool sometimes, but if he's like, I need a minute, I'm gonna go here for about an hour or so, watch the game or do something, that's his time for himself. People need time for themselves to recalibrate, refresh, or whatever the case is. So when someone breaking your boundaries and they're stepping into your space, you got to be like, look, chill, or this is my time for me, because you need that emotional and mental break for you to come back and be fresh to do whatever you're trying to do. So if you don't have any boundaries, I recommend you set boundaries so you don't let people run all over you in your life. Set them: physical space, financial, time, whatever it is you want to be, whatever you need someone to be able to understand, or whatever you want to set expectations around. Come up with some boundaries, because again, a person can only do what you allow them to do.